Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Todd, Southern Sipper, coming to you again. This is the second time today from the back patio. I'm gonna peel my little cooler. It's not a cooler, it's called a Freaks. I'll link it. I just did a review on Sierra Nevada. Sunny little thing. I'll link it. I talk a little bit about that thing. It's going back on this glass here in just a bit, but I gotta take it off while we do the pour and all this other kind of thing. This is now the beer we're reviewing now. It's called Something Cold. It's a premium pale ale from Edmonds Oast. Now I'm gonna tell you, I don't know Jack Ola. I had one. It's 5% ABV. Edmonds Oast is a really unique place. When I moved out of Charleston, I think they had 3 different places. I think it's down to 2. One was a really nice, it was a bit of a upscale restaurant, and restaurant, as we say here in the Deep South, they brewed their own beer for the restaurant. And then later on, they opened up a brew pub that had more, just elevated pub food and a lot more brewing capacity. So they could brew more beer, and for the restaurant and all that. Really nice place. Now their beers are really creative and eclectic. They brew some really imaginative stuff there. This is a pale ale. Now I got a pair of these, if I'm remembering correctly, from my good buddy Earl. I had one, and I'm going to tell you now, I know that I did rather enjoy that one. So we're going to review this one real quick. Now, when you go to their website, if you want to look this up, you need to remember this picture of the old refrigerator, because when you start looking at all the beers, you got, I didn't play around with a search function for something's called any of that. You just scroll through all the pages till you find the correct label, and you can click on that, and then they'll give you the info. Now the info on everything that was in this thing was non-existent. Okay, it was not a whole lot of information, so take that with a grain of salt. This was brewed January of this year. It's got a little age on it, Now, this is a pint can. I love a pint can, and who doesn't? I'm sure there's somebody out there who's not gonna enjoy a nice pint. Oh yeah. Now, and that, boys and girls, is how it's done. Oh, look at that. It's a beautiful looking pale ale. I mean, it is a nice golden straw color. Large bubbles. It is very light on the nose. I can't tell you much about it. But that is just a solid pale ale. I mean, it's not an IPA. It's just an easy to drink, really flavorful pale ale. It's lightly hopped. It's really crisp. It's really clean, but it's still, it's quite flavorful. It's gonna take me a minute to put any more than that together. Yeah, it's it's all of the usual suspects. Dang it. It's biscuity and crackery and a little yeasty. It's a little tart. It's a bit sweet. It is super light. I mean, the hop presence is it's next to nothing. I'd love to know exactly what's in it, you know. It really reminds me a little bit of a Pilsner, but this is an ale. So, I mean, when I say Pilsner, I mean, you know, an old school Pilsner, not the light American lager style Pilsners that we're also accustomed to. It's more in the line of a Pilsner Urquell, or like a Harp, that, you know, that are still you know, have enough body and character, you know, to be interesting. You know, I try. I do. I try so hard to you know, do a better job at describing exactly what it is I'm picking up in these things, but I can't. It's just not there. I mean, my palate, it apparently is just way below average. Now that we've seen everything, I'm gonna put my freaks, they call this thing, back on my glass, because it helps. Look, it's I'm in the deep South, boy, children, and it is summer. All right, so, and this thing, I like to drink out of glass. I don't like drinking out of cans, and I don't like drinking, you know, out of putting a can in a koozie hugger type affair. It just, when I'm at home, shit's going in a glass. It's just it's just the way it is. I'm old school like that. That's just really nice and friendly and easy to drink. I don't know what else I can tell you about it other than that. It's kind of wish I had a couple more of them. Now, I've been to I've been to two different Edmonds Oast locations when I lived up there in Charleston. The restaurant is really nice. That is a great place. You know, the food in there is super good. And the brew pub, which is down in, I guess now, you could kind of call it the brewery district. You can see 4 or 5, I don't know, it's probably more than that by now, breweries, you know, from one door to the next. You can, from Revelry, they have a rooftop. From Revelry's rooftop, you can see Edmonds Oast and Tradesman, and there was one, it wasn't Fat Pig. Fat Pig was up in Red Top, if you're familiar with the area, but I think Fat Pig is closed now. But it was some other kind of pig right there. And then Munkle is right there too. Munkle is really good. They do a lot of Belgian style stuff, and I'm a sucker for that. And so did Fat Pig, but unfortunately Fat Pig went the way of the dodo. So, you know, there was, what was the other one? There was, oh man, there was another one right there that I really enjoyed, but if you didn't have navigation on your smartphone or built into the car, you weren't going to find it by accident. I'm going to tell you that. You thought you were just driving down a one-lane alley and we're going to wind up dead end into an interstate bridge, you know, to get there. But when you get there, the beer was way good. It was a super good brewery, but gee, damn if I can remember the name of it now. I went there several times. Me and my neighbor Holger, we went there, and me and Mrs. Sipper were in there pretty regular. Oh well. Mainly because it's really close to Lewis Barbecue, and that damn brisket they had over there was banging. I mean, it was jam up, jelly tight. Miss that. There's a lot about the Charleston area that I miss. I mean, I love being back home. You know, I've kind of got some of the old circle of friends, or, you know, hanging out, and where I've decided to move to down here. My neighbors are just fantastic and all of that good stuff. But I did love living up there. But, you know, circumstances dictated that I kind of had to come back. And, you know, I don't regret it, but there are certain things about being in Charleston that I miss. And that beer scene up there, as an old fart that loves to drink beer, it's a big deal. You know, when I moved, I think there were 30 breweries in town. Don't know what they have now. And I was trying to make the gamut, you know, run the whole circuit and go to every damn one of them. And I did. I missed a few before we got out of town. You know, schedule a vacation and pick up on the ones that I missed at some point. But man, that'd be a hell of an Uber ticket, because I ain't driving around for all of that. You know, got to be responsible. I try to preach it. Yeah, that's just solid. Look, let me just tell you, there's a time and a place. If you love to drink beer, there's a time and a place for a lot of different kinds of beer, and it's summer in the deep South, children, and a good, easy to drink, crisp, clean beer is tough to beat this time of year. You know, everybody that knows me knows that my favorite thing in the whole wide world is a big ass stout and porters. I just love them. I get giddy over a good one. But this time of year, you can't sit outside like I am right now, and I'm going to be out here for a little while this evening. I'm going to put some burgers on the grill. Mrs. Winter, boy, that brings back some memories. Mrs. Sipper is otherwise occupied. She's got some. She's actually on a Zoom call with some folks right now. She'll wrap that up here in a bit. We're going to throw some burgers on the grill, and I'm going to have another couple of beers. And I just walked through there to check on her. She's got a little cocktail action happening. So, but you know, what time is it? It's 7:30. My good buddy Keith upgraded his phone, him and his wife, and my Samsung watch barfed, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd be damned if I had two of them. Both of them shit to bed. There's no way I was going to spring for another one. I'm still mad about it. And when he decided he was going all iPhone and bought, him and his wife both got iPhones and Apple Watches, and he had this little smartwatch. It's an Amazon thing. Comes from my good friend over there at the Amazon store, young Jeffrey. I haven't quite got the full hang of it, but my buddy Keith over there gave this to me, and it's certainly it's a handy little watch. I like it a lot, but I've not fine-tuned. And let me tell you something. It's not that I hadn't fine-tuned it. It's that I have not taken the time to learn all of the ins and outs on it. I got it kind of set up for a couple of things that I do a lot, but just being able to hit weather, I hadn't quite done that yet, because I use my phone to do my recording, so I can't do that while I'm doing this. So, you know, now, we reviewed a pale ale, and I have spent 15 minutes doing it and talked about a bunch of crap that doesn't have anything to do with this beer, because it's been a good weekend. If you know me in real life, you know I enjoy. I'm a project guy. I like to plan something out and knock out a project. And Mrs. Sipper and myself have been trying to put all of the finishing touches on this yard now that the major projects are done. So I think what I might do one day, and y'all put in the comments below, I'll do a little walking tour of the backyard It won't be right away, maybe in a couple of months, or maybe in a month, once we get all of the little silliness that we got to finish up done, and we'll show you what all we did. Once we bought this old place, I mean, my house is 100 years old. It's actually older than that, but I kind of gave a tour of the inside. Y'all have seen the wet bar build and all that bit, so I'm not going to link it. You can search around in the channel and find all that. And to show you what we do, you know, when we're hanging out, we're both really outdoorsy types. So now that we're up to the 16-minute mark on a review of a pale ale, I'm going to wrap this up, and just like I always do, please like and subscribe. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed up to this point and continues to watch these things. It's amazing to me. You know, I look at my little analytics about every couple of weeks or so, and I am steady gaining subscribers. I can't imagine how that continues to happen, and I'm just appreciative that it is. And as always, please enjoy those adult malted beverages responsibly.